One of the things people enjoy about birds, especially songbirds, is their lovely songs. This is especially true for those of us living further north who have to endure a long, desolate winter that extends well into April and May. Honestly, it's like we skip right past spring and just go straight from winter to summer. So, hearing the sweet song of a white-throated sparrow, or an American robin in April for the first time in months is a breath of fresh air to say the least, and tells us that brighter, warmer days are coming. However, sometimes their singing can occur at times of the day, or night rather, that can keep you up. American robins, for an example, sing up quite the storm in the very wee hours of the morning, as early as 3 a.m. 18-year-old Leslie knows this all too well, apparently. The days when I work night shift during the summer after graduation from high school, apparently I used to complain to my mother about the birds keeping me up, to which my mom would say, "Well, there isn't much I can do about that." Oh, how the times have changed for me. Can you imagine that I once complained about birds? I can't. Anyway, so back to the interesting behavior and reasons as to why birds sing so loud and vigorously so early in the morning. There are a few theories as to why they do this. One idea being that it's the best time to broadcast since there's little wind to distort their sound. The earlier a bird, male bird to be more precise, sings, the better advantage he has of being heard by other male competitors and, more importantly, females, allowing him to attract a mate and hold territory. That makes sense because they did, after all, travel quite a distance to get to their breeding grounds. There is no time to waste. They need to attract the best mate and make sure to grab the best territory to raise babies. So waking up early as possible to achieve their goals makes loads of sense. When you think about it, those birds work pretty hard to build a family. Another theory is that in the early hours of morning, the light is very dim, making it difficult to do much else, like hunt for insects. So why not take this time to sing? Recently, however, a new theory has been proposed, and there is actual data from proper testing to back up their claim. A study in the journal Animal Behavior found that the early morning vocal warm-up works wonders for their singing. So kinda like how opera singers warm up before a show to make sure they sing at their best, birds too seem to warm up before the morning begins. To test the warm-up hypothesis, biologist Professor Stephen Nowicki and biologist Susan Peters of Duke University recorded 11 male swamp sparrows between 2 a.m. and noon for 2 to 3 mornings each. I don't have any recordings of the swamp sparrow song, unfortunately, so if you want to hear one, you can visit All About Birds' website. Anyway, their call is described as a simple trill of up to 5 notes that repeat around 5 to 10 times a second. While birdsong may seem effortless, it isn't. As researcher Jason Dean explained, in order for a bird to produce a song, it requires balancing competing demands of speed and dexterity. Birds switch from one note to the next by opening and closing their beaks. To go from low to high, and back down again in rapid-fire succession, a bird must precisely coordinate the movements of their beak and voice box with each breath. Researchers set out to monitor the bird's performance by measuring each bird's trill rate and vocal range over the course of the morning. For swamp sparrows, their performance can begin as early as 2:30 a.m. Statistical analysis of the recordings showed that they start off taking it easy, singing slower, or with a more limited range. They only start to nail their songs, picking up the tempo and reaching for higher and lower pitch just after dawn, after hundreds of takes. The more they warmed up, the better they got. Researchers discovered that warming up helped them sing more difficult songs later in the morning. It may be that warming up helps to get their blood flowing and temperature rising to meet the physical demands of singing. To our ears, we may not be able to notice the subtle differences between competing male singers, but for female birds it's likely quite noticeable, and for them a well-sung song is more appealing than a rusty one, and not to mention more threatening to male competitors, because it takes a healthy, strong, energetic male to sing well. When you think about it, it definitely makes sense for male birds to warm up their singing, so that must be one really big reason for why birds start singing so darn early on those spring mornings. Next spring, when the birds return again and start singing outside your window very early in the morning, keeping you up, remember they are putting in a huge effort to attract a mate and deter competitors, so that they can raise a family and thus carry on their gene. So close the window and turn on a fan or something for white noise. Works for me. The best thing is that there are dozens and dozens of fan noise on YouTube, so you don't even need an actual fan that blows air around. So what do you think of the researchers' findings? Does it make sense to you? I have to say that reading that article was like one of those aha moments. It really makes a lot of sense for birds that sing to attract a mate to need to warm up. So comment below and let me know what you think. And as always, I hope that you enjoyed this little video. And also, just a friendly reminder of my second YouTube channel, More Leslie the Bird Nerd. Basically, it's a channel where I upload video of birds or other wild animals doing their thing. No commentary, just birds doing bird things. So if you want to check it out, there will be a link down in the comments pinned at the top. Thanks a bunch. Take care. Happy birding.